I went out and started talking to her. She was talking about his fiancée and their wedding preparation while I was still in those big eyes. My mind was still recalling all the moments we shared. I was not listening her, but my heart and my mind was just thinking about Taeyong. Jungkook, are you listening? Jungkook, yeah. I whispered, excuse me, she said, and I, without hearing her other word, cut the call and ran to my room. As I entered in room, I saw Taeyong laying on couch. His eyes were shivering, mean he was pretending to sleep. I smiled and sat on my bed, but my eyes were fixed on him. They was feeling my eyes on him. That's why he turned to other side to hide himself from me. I smiled and fall on bed. I start staring the roof of my room. I was only thinking about him. His thoughts were bringing a huge smile on my face. Taeyong. Sun rays touched my face. My eyes opened and I looked around. He was still in sleep. I decided to take shower. I got ready hurriedly. I down to prepare breakfast. As I stepped in hall, my eyes winded. All maids were there. The cleaner was cleaning the house. Minjin. Hello, sir, she said, and she saw me. What are you doing here? Jungkook will shout again if he saw you. Minjin. But, sir, Mr. John called us yesterday night. He ordered us to come to our work, so we all come, she said, and I was shocked and confused. I nodded and went to my room. He was not on bed. He might be getting ready. I waited for him. He came out of the washroom while rubbing his hair with towel. He looked at me for once and again was busy in dyeing his hair. He was again shirtless. He went near the wardrobe and take his shirt off. You called Minjin back? I asked as I stepped closer to him. I stopped near him. He turned and looked at me. He nodded. Why? Jungkook. Because I don't want you to do anything. Huh? How dare you? You're saying I'm bad at everything. I asked as I stepped closer to him in anger. Jungkook, I didn't say anything like this. What he think of himself? He just looked at me. I raised my eyebrows. Come closer, he said, and my eyes winded. Closer, he said, and took a step closer to me. And then one more. He stopped an inch away by me. My eyes started shivering. My eyes lowered down. I stepped back and was about to turn when he held my arm. I turned to see him. Taeyong, leave me, Jungkook. Look at me, dear. Don't call me that, I said as I looked up. Oh, you like your other name, Angry Cat, don't you? He asked and I cleared him. Don't talk to me like that. I'm not Angry Cat, okay? I don't like you talking with me like this, I said and tried to free my hand. I freed my hand and sat on bed. He sat next to me on bed. I was not looking at him. I felt something on my hand. I turned and saw his hand on mine. So what? Should I say that you like? What you want to listen for me? He said, and this time his tone was different, making my heart beat faster and flutter. I looked up and his eyes catch mine. I don't know what was in his eyes, but I felt a strange knock on my heart. The warmth of his hand was making my heart flutter. I felt butterflies in my stomach. My mind condition was changing. His nearness was affecting me. He left my hand and went out of the room. I took deep breath to calm my heart. In just this second, what happened? I don't know. But I was liking it. My heart started beating on different rhythm. Minjin called me for breakfast and I went out. We both had our dinner in full silence. Jungkook, I'll be late, he said as he picked his laptop and files. I just nodded. He didn't move, nor I. We were standing in room. Our room was filled with silence. I want him to say something. He stepped out. I don't know why. I followed him. For the first, I don't want him to go. The way he looked at me in morning, I think I lost everything. All hate I had for him was faded away. I just don't want him to go. I want to stop him, but you just follow him. My heart was running faster. He turned to see me and then smiled a little. I waved him by and he sat in. He started driving and I just kept looking at him until he was out of the house. I looked at my hand, which was still in air waving. I came to my sense. What was I doing? What is happening to me? I said to myself and stepped in. My heart and mind were thinking about him. I tried to get rid of this feeling, but it seems impossible. Third person. Deong. Did you get that dress? Deong asked as he reached near his friend. Boy. Yes, they are in Seoul, his friend said and handed over a piece of paper on which same address was written. Deong took the paper and smiled evenly. Looking at the paper, he hugged his friend and went toward his room. He directly went to his room and took out a picture from his drawer. I told you, you're mine. You're mine, Deong. No one can separate you from me. You are born for me, only for me, he said and kissed his picture lustfully. His eyes were fixed on the picture he was holding. His eyes were exploring the lust he has. I looked at the watch and find that it was 1 of the night. I packed my stuff and picked my laptop. I drove toward home. That wild day, I was fighting with myself, with my feelings. I was doing all my work by my heart and mind was just thinking about Theong. When I hold his hand, I don't know what was special in that moment, but I felt my world stopped. His eyes, his nearness was making me crazy. My heartbeat was increasing. Just to think about him all day, I spent restless, lost in the moment. I parked my car in porch and stepped in house. As I entered hall, my foot stuck. He was in front of me, laying on the sofa. His eyes were closed, and he was peacefully sleeping. I started taking steps toward him. I stopped when I reached near him. I bent down and sat in front of him. I kept looking at him. TV was on. I turned off the TV and again fixed my eyes on him. I don't know how. Maybe the warmth of my eyes bring him out of his sleep. He looked at me and straightened himself. He stand up and I also stand up in front of him. I just served the food. You go and fresh up. I stand right behind him and he turned. The distance between us ended. He looked up in my eyes. His hand was still in my hand. You're still awake. Why? I asked, looked at him. You asked me to. You told me not to sleep until you come. They said, and I felt a huge bunch of guilt in me. We stayed there, not moving, not saying anything. Theo, I called him. He looked up. I'm hungry, I said, and he smiled. You fresh up, I bring your meal in room, he said, and I nodded. I went to my room with a huge smile face. I don't know what was happening, but I really like it. I mean, being with him, talking with him, and the most of it, saw him smiling. I was smiling, thinking about Ken with placed food in a tray. I put a glass of water. When phone rang, I checked it. It was almost 2 of morning. Who is calling now? I slowly walked toward the phone and stand and picked the receiver. Hello, I said as I put receiver near my ear. Theong. Who is it? I asked. Don't know, but a fear ran in my body. Who are you? I asked again. My forehead was filled with sweat. I heard a laugh, which threatened me. I'm coming down, I heard. You're mine.